What's up, guys? I'm Taste. This is the IeSF Grand Finals for Hearthstone. It's been a fantastic tournament. I can't believe we're finally here. I'm joined with our Toasts and Frodan. How's it going, guys?
It's going well. We're in the finals, so that's fantastic, and I just cannot wait to see who is going to take home first place. This has been a tightly contested tournament that had some favorites coming in that absolutely did not get to even the top four.
Yeah, that's right. You look at the player list, and right out, some names jump at you, but none of them made it here to the grand finals. We have Tunisia. It was Messaoud versus Yhone from Austria. I don't know any of these guys prior to the tournament, but they're here, and they're playing for a chance for $5,000.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm pretty surprised to see Tunisia get this far in IeSF, but the guy's been playing very well.
Yeah, yes.
Props to him. This is really exciting. I love. Actually, this is what I love about IeSF in general. Is it's such an international tournament, and especially when you get a game like Hearthstone, you can play this game basically anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. It's not demanding on your PC. It's not like you need the fastest internet in the world. So
nope.
This is really cool. Austria against Tunisia. I think it's going to be a fantastic finals.
I think so, and I want to get your guys' predictions. Who do you think is going to take it? Am
I going first? Am I doing this?
Yes.
I'm saying Tunisia.
All right. I'm going to go with Tunisia as well. I think Messaoud's been playing a little bit better than Yhone has. I had Yhone as the strongest player when the day started, but watching the matches, I feel like it's a little up and down for Yhone. Sometimes he has good moments, and sometimes he almost misses lethal.
Yeah.
And then and pounds his keyboard in frustration. So
yeah, he's.
Oh no, this guy is the passion is real.
Yeah,
when you watch him play.
Some people wear their emotions on their sleeves, but this guy has a full body tattoo of his emotions, and he's naked up here. He has been like super emotional, like slamming the desk, getting very upset with himself, very happy at times as well.
I mean, it makes for great television.
It certainly does. It's very fun. He's actually a really cool guy. We've been talking to him some, but I think that he's a little bit too emotional here. He's like really involved, really wants to win, and I feel like Messaoud has played extremely well and kept calm through the tournament.
Messaoud, a very calm, relaxed player.
Yeah.
Not really showing a lot of emotion, which is the opposite of our Austrian player here.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I was watching the games that you guys were casting. Looked great, by the way. But when I came back, I noticed, Artos, can you say his name one more time?
Yhone?
Yhone. We're practicing this before the cast started, and I still can't get his name in my brain right. Yhone had sunglasses on.
Yes.
What happened with that? I went to the restroom, come back, and
okay,
he looked like he was coming out of an action flick.
It might be to focus him, to kind of just be like, I used to do this in Magic the Gathering with a baseball cap. I'd like have the rim bent so I could like only look at the cards and like really focus, no peripheral. Maybe that type of thing, like something to
kind of like
ground him.
You see this in some poker tables, the blinders people will put over their eyes. Okay.
Yeah. I think so too. You know, as people saw in some of the camera POVs, I mean, we're right in the background of his peripheral vision, and I think when he almost missed lethal and he saw us reacting, just having a little joke, it might get in his head a little bit, like, oh my
God,
that's
actually true. I mean, these guys are literally locked head to head.
Don't mind us, we're just hecklers.
They're just a few feet away from each other. The computer is just right up there, and this is a pretty tight little stage, so the intensity is real. So we're going into this, and this is going to be a warrior versus warrior to start this off.
Wow.
And let's go and just cover this real fast.
It's also
what classes they picked.
It's a best of 7 tasteless, too. So
all decks must be used.
All decks that aren't banned must be used. And we see Hunter banned by Yhone, which makes sense. But Messaoud banned Druid, which is also an interesting choice as well.
Could this be? I actually, in some ways, like it. It goes with his first choice because that means warrior isn't going to be completely terrible against anything.
Sure.
It's like a very doable opening class if you do ban Druid. So kind of neat. Kind of neat.
All right, we got warrior versus warrior. This will probably be a pretty long starting match. If this was a TV drama and we just got here, it would be like previously on Fatigue Wars.
Well, there's a decent chance it does go to Fatigue.
Yeah, it does. It does quite often. Mm-hmm. So for the opening play here, I would assume Armorsmith is the right play. What do you think, Frodan?
Yeah, well, you know, I think Armorsmith is okay. The only thing that you're worried about is your opponent being able to kill it off efficiently. In these control mirrors, card for card, the way they lined up is really important. And a lot of people usually define how the matchup is based off of the legendaries, but I like to measure it based off of how good your little stuff is.
how good your little stuff is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of little things that makes a big thing.
Yeah.
You guys are on a killing spree right now with the knowledge.
You get it, Tasteless?
I get it, guys.
It's a reference.
Well, he's taking his sweet time here on turn 2.
One thing I am interested in, though, is why coin into Armorsmith?
Well, you know,
Is there an onus for you to establish board control of that?
I guess this is going to be a control matchup entirely, so you might as well just get something that's going to build armor or at least reduce his armor in the long run.
He has Harrison Jones in his hand. I feel like saving the coin for that could be very good against a turn 4 Death Spite.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, the coin in general, especially in mirrors, is supposed to be for that one turn only. You gain a tempo advantage of being able to pick a certain pocket where you can exploit your opponent's weaknesses. Because every deck has a tipping point where their aggression can start. Sometimes it's turn 1 for Hunter, but on other decks, like Druid, for example, turn 5 is when it starts getting really powerful.
All right, we got 2 Armorsmiths here.
And he plays this on turn 3 instead of on turn 2.
2 Armorsmiths like the Double Mint twins right here on the board.
Yeah. They're
on different sides, though.
Yeah, the Double Mint twins are going at it right now.
Double your pleasure, you know what they say.
Double your fun.
Yeah.
Double mint gum. Just to finish that up.
Of course, IeSF has nothing to do with double mint gum.
No.
Not yet. Maybe 2015.
Not yet, yeah.
Maybe they're watching. They're fans of
IeSF is getting bigger and bigger.
Well, who isn't? That's
okay. Well,
that's a good. I mean, it's a draw that he had, but this is where, like you said, that Harrison Jones
would be fantastic.
Would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I got to agree with you guys. Harrison Jones would have been a great move back there, but he coined out that Armorsmith instead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now he's going to lose his own Armorsmith to it. Probably the next year.
Oh yeah. Now this is kind of comical, actually.
I got a question here, because this is an interesting matchup because occasionally, as we all know, and when you're against a warrior, excuse me, the armor can just get out of hand.
Yes.
Is it ever worth it? Let's say that he didn't have, for instance, Death Spite here. Is it ever worth it to do anything like execute? If you got that issue, is that, or do you always want to save that for a bigger minion?
I would say you've got to save it. Like, Warrior has a very set amount of kills. Like, you can actually just count the kills. Be like, okay, I've seen Gromash, Alex Straza, sometimes Baron Geddon, sometimes Karn, sometimes Sylvanas, and then of course Rag. And that's
a lot of execute targets.
It is. But you have like 4 really good hard removal cards, and if you can use your weapons and stuff for everything else, then that's going to be good.
Well, looking at this now, would he want to be going with Lotheb or Sludge Belcher here?
The problem with Lotheb is that it means he gets removed by the weapon, and then at least if Sludge Belcher gets down, the 1/2 slide.
Oh yeah, that's actually a great point.
Still remains.
I forgot about the death rattle there. Yeah, so I guess Sludge Belcher really is the only play.
Yeah, for sure.
It would be
Not
surprising.
to mention you gross out your opponent while doing it because you throw out a little sludge that burps at his opponent.
That's true.
Actually, every time Sludge Belcher should attack, you should hover over your monitor and burp in his face.
If only we had like extra. I wish we could play it in like 5 senses Hearthstone.
Oh,
wouldn't that be great?
Smell Sludge Belcher.
Yeah.
Like
Here comes Sludge Belcher. He's like, ew.
Yeah, you play like a Leper Gnome Sludge Belcher deck. Try to get the advantage psychologically.
Actually, what happens is you play a card and then you spin your wheel and then your opponent has to react to it. So it's like, well, taste Leper Gnome. It's like, whoa.
All right, we have the 1/2 Sludge out, the Sludge Junior. Sludge Junior. And an owl being drawn here.
I mean, you have already the best thing to take out his own Sludge Belcher. These guys are matching pretty evenly. And this is where some people argue that this is why control decks can be, quote, easier than aggro decks. Because you're just simply lining the best form of removal. And, well, you just kill stuff until you basically get your way to kill your opponent.
I guess the Black Knight was a good move there. There are not a ton of taunts normally in a warrior deck compared to some other decks that are out there. So you might as well use him and then save that owl a little bit later on to punish him.
The owl will probably be for something like Sylvanas or possibly Karn.
You got to watch out, though, if that owl gets mind-controlled like we talked about yesterday. That's
man.
Well, that's why Priest is a great counter
pick. That's the $1 million play right there.
Well, you can't come back if your owl gets mind-controlled.
Yeah, that's game over, man. Well, it's 29 warrior against 28 warrior.
Okay.
No armor here on the board, but we do have 2 shield blocks that have been drawn here.
Yeah.
And with a shield slam in hand, this is pretty handy. He could shield block, shield slam the 4/5, and
armor up or armor smith at that as well.
Yeah, I think armor smith is pretty decent. You don't want to. I think armoring up, like just simply an armor up, feels really weak because you're not doing anything on board. Even if it's a 1/4, you put in the back of your mind like, what if I have a cool Taskmaster? You can't just like toss out an acolyte.
Yeah. It's a very good point. And I do have to agree with it, although I like to get as many armor ups in as possible. This was definitely a much better play.
Well, he's got the perfect answer right back, his own death spite. I think the matchup will be defined by who gets to their deep legendaries first with pressure.
Oh, I got to agree. Yeah.
In this matchup, the warrior player that can be aggressive and continue to threaten lethal often is the one with the high win percentage.
Yeah, totally the case. Sometimes even the amount of cards in your hand doesn't matter as much as just keeping the pressure on the board, because if you can overpressure them and tax their removal, your big guys are just so scary.
Here's a quick question. In our Austrian player's hand, we did see, well, this actually negates what I was going to ask, but let me just ask it anyways. I know that normally Gromash Hellscream is used for the killing blow here, but if you're on turn 8, you have in your hand Gromash, and you do have plenty of other legendaries in there as well. Is it ever worth it just to use that Death Spite, have it break, damage Gromash, and send him in there, or do you always want to save that for the end?
Well, either way is like doable. You need to proc him somehow, and to save that charge up to do it. The thing is, normally we used to, before Naxxramas, count up 12 damage off of nothing, but now with Death Spite out, you have to look and be like, ooh, this is an easy 14, and that changes everything.
Well, I also don't like throwing Gromash out there unless you absolutely need to, because then your warrior opponent can get away with a lot. It's like, well, I can't actually die even though I'm at 5 health, so I can get away with this. Threatening lethal, just like in any other case, if you're facing up against a druid or even a shaman with a Doomhammer, you have to change your play sometimes suboptimally.
Huh.
All right, well, back over here to our Tunisian player. Again, if you're just now tuning in, guys, this is the finals here for IeSF. We're about to crown the world champion. It'll either be Messaoud from from Tunisia, or, and am I going to say this right, Yhone?
Yhone.
Excuse me, from Austria. In this best of 7, this is game 1.
Well.
Yhone.
Yhone.
Yo, it's your boy Yhone.
It's Yhone. I almost thought it could be like Yono or something. No,
Why honey?
Why honey? That's why hone.
Yhone. Yhone.
Next, we have to make anagrams out of this name.
Yhone. It is just honey anagram, right?
Oh my God!
It is an anagram for honey. You did it. You won.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
I practiced a lot.
I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at it for a little bit, and I was trying to think of something I could. And what is Messaoud? Can we get an anagram for his name? LAS3D. 3 lads. That's us. That's us.
Oh wow!
All right.
He's destined to win this now.
In the meantime, guys.
Anyways, what are we talking about? What game is this?
We're clearing Cairn, which is actually a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Takes him out.
It was a super solid clear too.
Yeah. Killing off your opponent's mid-range legendaries is often the most awkward part, because you want to save like your big things for like your Sarah, executes against Sarah, like Shield Slam against Alex, but it doesn't always become the case.
We see Messaoud is running a BGH in his deck here too, so if those do come out, he can definitely deal with some of that later on with that.
It's tempting to use it here, but I think it's better off as anti-Alex Straw's attack. You could use it with Cool Taskmaster to snipe the Lotheb.
Yeah.
But
you could also use Fire War Axe with the Cruel Taskmaster to do it. Looks like he does want to use it. But that means he has to play the axe and kill off the bird.
Oh.
Okay, so the owl is picked off here. And we'll switch back into the turn for our Austrian player, going into turn 10 here.
Those
hello.
Wow.
This is actually, I think there's only one play here. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the Baron Geddon, you're ahead in armor. You can armor up even after you take him out here.
Yeah.
And start shrekking the board.
It's pretty sick. And, I mean, he has a Gromash combo already in hand. If you can't remove this Baron Geddon easily, Like, what if you have to proc it with your weapon or something?
He
That's
just
insane.
used Big Game Hunter. This is partially why I think BGH, like, you have to find a way to remove that card without using it. Even if you use your own weapon. You know, you use Fiery War Axe to chop down and use Tool Taskmaster Snipe. There's just a 2-1 on the board, and I feel like, you know, he used his removal a little bit too liberally there.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think that the big key to playing Control Warrior, especially against another control deck, is you have to line up every card you have that removes with what it's going to remove in that game, and you need to make that happen as close to as possible as you can.
All right. Well, we haven't dropped down to 15 right now. And let's see if he actually has an answer here for Alex Straza in his hand.
No.
Yes, he does.
Well, yeah, he could actually cruel.
Yeah, you're right.
He could Cruel Taskmaster and then execute. Did he use a Cruel Taskmaster already?
Yes. One of them just died, so I'm pretty sure. Or maybe that was the other side.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I thought that was the other side.
So I don't think
I don't believe he has. So he still has one Cruel Taskmaster in hand. To possibly deal with that. But of course, I mean, that's such a nice combo you have already there, just with Grommash and Cruel Taskmaster. One of the functions of the deck is to essentially draw those two and end the game, but he might have to give it up now, and it looks like that's what he's going to do here with this execute.
Was there any merit to playing Cruel Taskmaster and Grommash aggressively? Because your opponent just
make
used
Alex
execute.
trade into you?
Yeah.
Hey, I like
that's
your
really
thinking.
smart.
That's a clever way to look at it.
Oh, you know what? Good thing he didn't.
Yeah. Hindsight's always 20/20.
Well,
Scourge's armor. You can't play Sylvanas into that, right?
Yeah, just armor up.
I mean, she does challenge and like pave. No, like she paves the way for like Ragnaros to be really good.
What was that laugh?
No, she does.
No,
she
like
I thought you meant she challenges the 2/2. I'm like, listen, she challenges the 2/2 like the sun challenges a rock being thrown into it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, hold on. I mean, if he plays Sylvanas, maybe he can bait out removals that way. Ragnaros would have been better.
and in fact, there was no way to actually get rid of her this turn too.
Yeah.
They're both down to 3 cards in hand, so not a lot of options here.
Yeah. 2 situational cards in your finisher.
Now, we saw a lot of weapons used here, but I think you probably still
How about flat Grommash?
Just flat Grommash into the face. That seems pretty all right.
Yeah.
Like, I hate doing that in this matchup. I feel like as soon as you use your Grommash for anything except killing your opponent, it hurts. But how many executes has he already used?
Used one, but there's one remaining.
Yeah. He doesn't have anything to proc it as far as we know. From this side of the board, at least.
Okay, we have Lotheb here.
Ragnaros could
I guess.
proc it.
I guess this is the play is just Lotheb armor up and pass.
Yeah. There's a lot of paths that this game could have deviated to, but we're here at the point where both players are being really defensive.
You know, I want to point out, by the way, that this Harrison Jones is still sitting here. Because he coined out the Armorsmith, right?
No, actually, it was the other way
Oh,
around.
God, it was the other player. Okay. I'm crazy.
Yeah,
that's right. He just used it on the Death Spite.
Yeah.
And in fact, that's actually important to note that the second Death Spite has been used. So there's
You're waiting
not
for
a lot
like a
of
Fiery War Axe.
Yeah, there's not a lot of activators.
It's fair if both Death Spites are gone, you can just play Harrison. Like, you don't have to.
Right.
You don't have to hold him. Like, these turns have been so weak.
Well, actually, what I was referring to was that there might not actually be that many activators for Grommash left in Yhone. God, Tasas is spreading it.
I know.
To Yhone's deck.
Yhone. Wait, how do you say his name again? We've been
Yhone.
casting this guy all week here.
I haven't had
Yhone.
trouble
It's
even one
Yhone.
time.
I make enough jokes with his name. Yhone.
Yhone.
All right, well, we're going to end the turn here. And back over here. Okay, what do you guys think? Just clearly you drop Ragnaros on the board. You want to start wrecking that armor, getting him down low. He's already at 15 health. Why not?
Absolutely.
I mean, it comes down to how you're able to pressure your opponent, and your opponent was getting back to 30 health. This Ragnaros is the best chance. And he already played Big Game Hunter, right? Nope, that was the other guy.
Some great commentary
The
going on
dangers
here
of
today.
casting a mirror matchup in our stuff.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I guess he has to BGH here, right?
Yeah, and he has to use the axe on the other guy, so.
Pretty straightforward play. Armor up after that. Then I'll put him at 2 armor.
That's actually really good mileage out of Fiery War Axe to be able to kill off Lotheb.
Yeah.
Normally, Fiery War Axe doesn't get any value other than shutting down your opponent's acolyte.
Yeah, I was going to
Seriously.
say just taking off
a chunk of armor or something.
The junior sludge belcher or something like that.
It's a sick. it has a name, you know.
Sludge
tasteless.
Light.
Sludge Diet Sludge, I believe is what it's called.
Sludge Zero.
Sludge Zero.
Cherry Sludge Zero, more like it.
Vanilla sludge. Oh, jeez.
All right.
I mean, we're giving people a lot of Barcraft ideas. For
Yeah,
next
this
time
is
they have
actually a great,
Hearthstone.
if they're doing Barcraft stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'd like a vodka and a sludge zero, please, because I'm trying to party but stay slim. So,
I'm watching my calories. Guys.
yeah, I'm watching my calories. Okay.
Watching my health right now.
Yeah.
Need that taunt.
Great tasting, less filling. Sludge Light.
Sludge Light.
Well, you have to get rid of your opponent's Sylvanas, but I think you just dive straight into it. Like, tossed out Sylvanas on an empty board.
Yeah.
And then
You gotta.
and then I feel like you can just play
wouldn't you just
Grommash, right?
just Grommash
What?
straight up.
Yeah, I think what you do is you just run in the BGH, kill it with the axe, and
Right.
get Grommash out there.
I think that playing Grommash is probably a very good move here. Like, I could see him thinking about dropping Sylvanas. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't really want to see a Harrison
Actually, I
drop.
might
Actually,
rather.
maybe the Sylvanas is actually a better play.
Yeah. The more I think about it.
Because there's still a handful of legendaries still in his deck that he can't bring out. Oh, is he really going to do Harrison Jones? Okay.
I think so. Sylvanas is
Oh
better
my
than
God, the
Harrison.
Rob!
All right.
Okay, I
well,
would have liked him to to weigh those options a little bit better, because I think like Sylvanas actually had a little bit better, but I guess in this case, it doesn't really matter, honestly.
well, it baited removal here, so.
Sure.
You know, I think that was the point of either of them coming out, but the Harrison drawing an extra card at this point could be big, and killing a weapon, obviously.
At this moment, do you just want a Sylvanas and Armor Smith, or maybe do you want to?
I think you skip
keep,
the Armor
keep
Smith.
the Armor Smith in your hand for later on, since I guess that's true. Artosis, Black Knight would just run in and kill it.
Yeah, unless there's some other way to deal that 1 damage to Sylvanas, which might be what he's looking at here. He is low on health, so anything that can prevent damage to him can be good here.
That's true. He still dies actually to the Cruel Taskmaster Grommash combo, which was a scary second. Wow.
Okay, we got the
Iron
owl
Peak
here.
Owl. That
What?
is a pretty
What?
clutch draw, honestly.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't have to give up his Black Knight at all.
Oh, yeah. He can just take out this Armor Smith
Yeah.
and then execute the Sylvanas. But that is an empty hand, which means you can do whatever you want.
Do
with
you? Okay.
He's-
Oh.
Do you?
Oh,
Do you?
yeah.
I was gonna say maybe you should hang on to the Cruel Taskmaster there.
That looks like what he wants to do.
Right.
You know,
So we got the.
he is
Acolyte
dying
here.
to draw Alstraza, seriously.
I'm curious how many cards he's actually got in his hand here, because I think he's probably going to put Acolyte of Pain out here. And then, what am I saying? He would probably want to keep the Cruel Taskmaster to combo that with.
Yeah, but I don't mind.
But then again, yeah, I mean, you do need to get more cards in your hand. If you have a few card advantage here, that could be the game.
It could be, but he's got to kill this 4/4, I feel like, as well, because he is the one that's low on health. And it's funny you say 19 is low, but, if that combo does pop out, he dies very quickly with this guy on board.
Let none survive.
Thing is, the 2/1 just trades right into Sylvanas. It just hurts.
I actually.
By the way, our Tunisian player is getting pretty low on cards.
Yeah, he is.
Both these guys are
What-
actually around.
did we see how much it
same.
was?
It was around 7 or 8 cards left.
7 or 8 cards left? Okay.
That looks like 6 cards to me for that.
Artosis has each of the card animations memorized. He's like, that's exactly 17 cards.
5.
5.
It's 5.
Yeah.
Was it 5 back over
Yeah.
there?
So we were both wrong.
We
All right,
were,
Artosis,
but I
when
was
you
less
When you get
wrong
back
than
home
you
after
were.
this cast, go back home and memorize.
Whoa.
Oh,
This,
interesting.
I don't like that at all. I don't like that play at all, guys.
Artosis, do you like that play?
I don't like that play.
Oh.
He's you attack into that so quickly. He's so low on
Yeah.
cards. Make him draw out.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Not to mention, you get to draw closer to whatever your Alex draws is.
Oh, rags.
Yeah, I think you pass it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
Armor up,
pass.
pass.
Armor pass, one of my favorite moves in the game.
This game has actually gotten. It's going to come down to a couple epic draws here.
Yeah, it looks like it. We're
God,
getting
he's
into
gonna
the.
be decked in like no time. It's gonna kill him through fatigue, perhaps. Wait, what? 4 against how many?
4 against like 7 or 6.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's a really big difference. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay,
So that's
well,
what he
this-
was looking for.
Not bad at all.
But before you do that, you start hitting the Death Spite, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I would get Death Spite out here.
Three versus 6. Okay. Do you bring your opponent towards fatigue?
Well, the problem is for him, he's at 3, so I guess
And the answer is yes.
All right.
Well, he still is bringing himself a little bit more towards fatigue as well.
I'm getting a little bit worried, so he's going to now have only 2 cards left to draw from, one a Fiery War Axe.
Okay, that's fine. That's just damage. Like, that's just 6 points of burn, essentially.
Yeah.
Wow, actually, there's a lot of cards inside of Yhone's hand right now.
But let's keep in mind, I mean, the very limited number of options. He has Execute in hand, so if he brings out Grom, he can just kill it with Execute later on if he doesn't do that with a killing blow here. Now here's Ragnaros coming out.
That was a rather large shield slam for a
Yeah.
rather small dude.
I mean, I can understand if it like burnt him out of like a shield range that you can't use shield slam, but in this scenario, it actually doesn't do anything. And now he's going to push in for damage to try and end it out. And even though he will get killed off, he still has some burn and pushing him to fatigue.
Yeah, this is getting really cool because we have one warrior here with almost no cards about to be fatigued.
Yeah.
But a lot of HP, a lot of armor. On the other side of the board, we have, as you can see here, a warrior with a little bit more options. He executes there. We have the Ascension Shield Master. And, okay, let's see what that last card is now that's been drawn.
It's
probably Alex Straza.
No, it's Yhone who hasn't drawn Alex Straza.
Baron Geddon.
Oh, wow. And with the axe, that's a perfect fit.
Yep.
3 + 2 is 5. Goodbye, Senjin.
It is. And 7 + 3 is 10, so even if he armors up,
He needs to kill it.
He needs to find a way.
All right, so what does he have? Alex
Straza.
Straza's out. That's huge.
Well, he can also snipe this
Now,
Baron Geddon with. Actually, he needs to
wait,
do
hold
that.
it.
He needs to snipe Baron Geddon with Gromosh.
Yeah, does he run Gromosh in there and take a little bit more damage? Because the later he brings out Alex Straza,
Right.
The more delayed the damage from fatigue.
Your opponent has one
is.
card in deck. Like what? Yeah,
And
no,
it's Brawl.
totally.
It's if you pay attention to the entire game, it's Brawl. No Brawl's been played this game.
Oh wow, yeah.
Actually,
Fred, of course, knows I haven't paid attention to this whole game.
I know you get lost in taste of size.
Yeah, man.
I do.
It's my doe eyes, man.
But you know what? If that Brawl leaves the 2/2, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to Brawl in order to get rid of this Gromosh.
All right, this is Fatigue Wars here. I guess, yeah, you just have to Brawl.
I think you probably armor up this turn as well.
Yeah,
You
I think
can't take
I like
this damage.
Artosis' analysis of armoring up every turn here. I think.
When you have
No, wait,
other
hold on.
plays.
Okay, no, yeah, I think you're right. I think
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time.
You can't take this 10 damage. You're already at 2 fatigue ahead of your opponent.
Yeah.
Well, there's not really much to do. Armor up, Brawl, Pray.
Well, the thing is,
the
you know
Colt-
Alex Straza is this card if he
Yeah.
hasn't played it yet.
Exactly.
Like, so Alex Straza is coming next turn, so actually you can take that damage.
No, but then your opponent just doesn't do anything. He just armors up. He attacks you and just armors up. He's
Yeah,
not on
yeah.
fatigue. Like, you actually can't.
Yeah, you're right.
You
You're right.
have to Brawl.
Well, I meant he could sword into the 2/10.
Okay,
And Gromosh-
Brawl. What's it going to be? Oh, my
Oh.
God.
You still face it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got him.
Well,
Ouch. All right, so it's now.
And now Alex
in that
Straza is a
case-
heal spell.
Oh, actually, you know what? If that was the case, he should have attacked it anyways and then waited for Alex Straza before brawling.
You are correct.
Oh, man.
Well, that's it.
Well, that's actually the game. There's no way for him to
That's
do
it.
anything.
Yeah, well, I think his next turn's armor pass. Oh, no, it is to give up, and it looks like Yhone will win game number 1.
Fantastic game back there.
Wow. Going right down to fatigue as warrior versus warrior very oftentimes does.
We have, this is a best of 7, by the way. So for the remaining decks that can be used, Hunter was banned, by the way, for Lasad. He can use Priest, Warlock, or Shaman.
Priest, Warlock, Shaman. This Warlock is Handlock, I believe?
Yes, I think
So-
both of them
think
are
so.
playing Handlock.
Okay. Handlock or Shaman. Which one do you guys want?